the next race in this day of round one, Dark Souls, Prepare to Die edition, all bosses not remastered, all bosses tournament. Um, this time we have Nubisaurus versus Typwo, and yeah, I'm joined with.
Hello, my name is Ayame, and
And,
I'm ready to commentate this race with Ake.
oh yeah, I'm Commander Ake, but I guess you guys know that already. Um, we have newbies starting at -15, pretty insane. Um, and it's gonna be the Comet Noob versus some guy. Both runners are starting with actually no they're not, never mind. Typo's doing a old route of VS Malus, so that's Hunter. Um I guess that was actually before Prom Swap was discovered. So on newbie side, you'll see something a bit more modern. You'll see Thief class, which starts with black fire bombs and also starts with a master key, which helps you get into Blighttown a bit easier. I'm not really sure what Typo is going to be doing aside from using the Great Club apparently. So feels Force Quit Man, and we're excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some clubbing action going on. I really
Yep.
like that weapon,
Yeah.
and also happy that not remastered, as you said on the beginning.
hmm And without further ado, let's let these guys go. I'll say we're ready up, and you guys can start. All right, and we see the negative time becoming less and less negative, approaching zero on newbie side. So I guess that's when the race is actually going to start. And boom, there we go.
Okay, so we are on, and as the previous run, and actually we've had this happen a lot, where we have one player on Thief plus Firebomb start, and then another player with Hunter start. And the main difference with that is that the player starting as Thief, the Thief class already has, for some reason, it already starts with a very important key item, which is the Master Key that the players will use to open some doors. So since the thief already has the master key, you can pick the fire bombs as your starting gift, and you can use them to, as we are already seeing, kill Asylum Demon by bombing his face. While on the contrary, Typo, who started as Hunter doesn't have the master key, so you have to ask for it as a gift, and therefore you cannot use the bombs to kill Asylum Demon. You have to use the sword. So that's the first big difference we are going to see.
Yeah, I think Thief class is the quote unquote faster route. But I will say that Hunter start is probably a better early game, especially because you can kill Taurus Demon with the short sword instead of having to use
Yeah.
the Bandit knife.
You
Which
also
you'll
already
see the
have
difference.
the the bow, which is something. It's not that important in this route because you can buy a bow from the merchant, but there's other routes, like for example, if you were doing a route where you do um volley start, you save like
Oh,
15 seconds or something, not having to pick up the longbow. And we see Taipu struggling a
Typo.
lot
Oh,
with
but he
these
got a
hollows.
double kill. Insane.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's okay. I would have quit out there, to be honest, but that was pretty brave. Um,
I would have forfeited.
yep, I would have forfeited a DNF. Um, but yeah, we see basically Typo's doing what Newbie did at the beginning. He just has to kill Asylum Demon with the short sword. It's not that much of a problem. Just melee Asylum strats and everything like that. Um, The other thing is these runners are doing RTA strats. So, for example, opening that door on Typo side. If there were IGT strats we were using, we would have quit out there because the IGT timers, well, the in-game timer stops when you quit out. And so to actually save time, you would have loaded back in and the door would have been opened because it basically skips the animation. But we'll be foregoing quitting out as much as we can because the timer is never going to stop running. And in RTA, it loses about 10 seconds to quit out, which is pretty bad. So we're trying to do some RTA friendly strats here.
Yeah. luckily for Newbie, assuming he's doing ES Mailless, like up-to-date ES Mailless, he will have a very RTA friendly route, which is one of the strengths and one of the reasons that we have like a lot of us are using this route for the tournament, is that in a natural way it doesn't need to use many quit out. Like you don't use fall control quit out. There's very few doors you need to quit out and there's very few places you need to quit out for enemies. So you usually get runs that are about like 3 or 4 minutes longer RTA than IGT, which is actually very good compared to other kinds of routes.
Especially with fall control, because you have to quit out to do the fall control strats mostly.
Yes.
Which is basically a 10-second time loss whenever you need to get down.
Yeah, and we saw that being very relevant in yesterday's race, where one of the runners was doing full control quit outs a lot, and they lost like easily a bunch of like a handful of minutes only to that.
Yeah, Volk got the 999 soul spears. Feels good, man. Can't do that in every other route.
Oh, we almost got Taurus to fall off, but
yeah,
it didn't want to. And in return, Taurus is beating the crap out of Newbie.
But if you take a look at Typo's screen, the Taurus he actually killed Taurus a bit before Newbie there, and that's because the short sword is just really good against that boss, because you can make him stagger, whereas with the bandit knife you just have to keep hitting him. But they're in sync right now pretty much, actually, so
yes,
we're a bit more actually, never mind. One of them ran into a wall.
But yeah, the short sword is a very good weapon in the early game. It's close to the battle axe. Not as good, but pretty close. As far as like regular casual playthrough weapons go.
Not that both these runners get Drake Sword, and they did, so we don't have to do any crazy lightning spear strats.
Yeah, we didn't get any. Luckily, this time we didn't get any Drake memes, Hellkite Drake memes.
And let's see what they do. I would expect both of them to go to SGS right now, but it's possible that Typo might be doing gargoyles next.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect.
Especially if he got the Drake Sword out, he might be two-handing it for that fight.
But you can start explaining SGS, because we are probably going to be seeing it.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. So in this game, there are some locations where the death trigger and the death cam trigger are located in different places. Also, Typo is doing gargoyles, so he's going to activate that elevator to use later as a shortcut. Anyway, so the triggers are in 2 separate places, so you can actually basically glitch your way throughout the map sometimes by using a parry riposte strat, like Newbie's going to do right here. And you can touch the death cam trigger without touching the death trigger, so you don't actually die, but the game is expecting you to fall to your death, because casually the only way you do this is by being about to die. So you see this top-down menu, that is the top-down view is the death cam, so the game is expecting you to die, but you're not actually dead, because, well, he's still running around, and that's because the triggers are in separate places. Basically, the riposte pushes you back just far enough to hit the death cam trigger, but the death trigger, the actual death trigger, is a little bit below that, so you can miss it if you position yourself correctly. In this death cam state, assets to the game like Sense Gate don't actually load, and so we can sequence break the game with this glitch and get to Sense Fortress early without having to ring both bells. It's extremely fast, even in all bosses. If we were doing something like No Wrong Warp, you probably wouldn't have to fight gargoyles when you do this by doing this skip. It's a pretty classic skip in this game. We saw Typo take out gargoyles relatively easily. Gargoyles did kind of control him. Yeah, go ahead.
And I just realized that Typo wasn't doing move swap for gargoyles, and that's because he doesn't have a weapon. I think he doesn't have a rapier, a nest dog, or a mail breaker yet to move swap with.
Yep, Newbie actually bought the rapier. We'll explain move swap as Newbie approaches Iron Golem in a bit, but he does not have the rapier yet, and as we'll explain, there's really no point to move swapping without a thrusting weapon. One thing we're going to see Newbie do here that I don't think Typo's going to do is he's going to free Logan. And I guess he's going to do, I wonder what I guess he's move swapping on the cage. But he's going to...
because why not?
Yeah, oh, he actually move swapped the shield there. We'll explain move swap during Iron Golem because it's the quote-unquote classic time for all the commentators to explain it and act like they know what they're talking about. So we'll wait. Newbie's also doing some changing ordering just to make sure he actually move swaps correctly. And we saw Typo kill Laurentius, Jesus Christ, Lautrec, by kicking him off, and he's going to pick up the Ring of Favor and Protection. But more importantly, you kill Lautrec in this route so that you can use Firelink as a bonfire after you ring the second bell. But we do see a bit of a route difference, as we can see here. Basically...
Yeah, I was going to mention that it didn't look like Newbie finished Logan's dialogue, which you really want to do, because if you don't finish talking to Logan completely, he just doesn't move. For some reason, he's so intelligent and whatever that he just stays there. He chills in his cage even though you open it. Yeah. So yeah, luckily, fortunately, Newbie realized that and went back to finish the dialogue. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah. We saw Typo pick up the S-Stock on his way to Blighttown, so this might be a natural time to explain move swap. Basically, you can only two-hand the bow in your left hand. Otherwise, all weapons that you two-hand are still going to be counted as technically being in your right hand. And you could actually glitch the game by getting stuck in an action and queuing the two-hand of the bow. So that means that you don't actually two-hand the bow until you stop jumping, for example, or you end the animation that you're stuck on. So yeah, I hear no echo, Eagle. But what you can do is you can queue up that animation, and then before you end the animation you're stuck in as well, not only can you queue up two-handing the bow, you can swap to a weapon that you want to two-hand in your left hand. And in that state, the game's going to be a bit confused, but the running, rolling, and plunging attack of whatever weapon you're two-handing in your left hand is going to be taken from your right hand data. And as we saw Newbie do it here actually on the bottom. His right hand is still the rapier or a thrusting weapon, and so he could end up using some pretty slow, usually slow, big weapons that do a lot of damage with a running attack. And so usually that's always a double hit if you're doing a running attack. It's a very, very powerful bread and butter glitch of this game. As you can see, he just killed Bob with that Drake Sword running attack, so there we go. And also, Typo just picked up the Great Club, and so he'll be using that as his main move swap weapon, and Newbie will be using the Dragon Tooth. So 2 clubs, but the Great Club is pretty damn powerful, so I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, the greatest of clubs. And that's probably why that explains why Typo didn't go for Sense-Gate skip, because he's picking up his main weapon for the run now, and probably wants to do that before 1S.
As soon as possible as well for Quelaag. We see Newbie fighting Iron Golem. Iron Golem is a pretty tough boss position, because you have to be pretty precise in your positioning here. You have a pretty small weapon, and you have to hit Iron Golem in his legs. Let's see if he does it here. Meanwhile, Typo's doing Quelaag, so we have 2 boss fights going around here. Obviously, with Iron Golem, the goal is to make him fall off as quickly as possible, which I believe Newbie's doing. It may not work. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it.
That's not gonna make it. Yeah. He's gonna fall.
Nope.
You can tell, for those at home, you can tell which direction the Golem is gonna fall because of his left foot he has in front of him. The way that foot points is the way he's facing, basically. Even though it looks like he's looking a little bit more to the side, that foot is what rules it. So if that foot is not close to perpendicular to the abyss, he's probably not going to fall unless he's very, very close to the edge.
Yep, and let's see what happens here. Typo just finished up
that's
play
good.
like that's all. Is that gonna? Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, maybe he might be a little bit too far from the edge,
Okay, yeah,
that
should
should
be
do
fine.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Typo's gonna have great Cub Golem. So basically, if you've watched Capitane over the past 6 years, this is basically what Typo's gonna be doing for a little bit. Feels
Yeah,
force
you
quit
had
now.
a chance to catch that for a while.
Yep. Um, and yeah, he rings the first bell. Both runners are gonna end up having to ring both bells, even though Newbie did SGS. Um, because we need to access Framped, which we're going to be using later on for a lot of soul duping. So we'll get to that later. I'm not really sure when Typo is going to get to it, if at all. I assume he's going to, but Newbie will get to it soon after ONS and Qualag. Um,
Also, by the way, welcome raiders. Thank you, Dan, for the raid.
Thanks, Daniel. I can't see that on my Twitch chat, so.
Damn, your Twitch bad is bad.
I'm using a widget from GitHub or whatever because I have one monitor.
Oh.
Yeah. And we're seeing lower Undead Berg skip actually from Typo, and he failed it. So he's gonna have to pick up the rubbish, or he's gonna get shamed by most of the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and he didn't. Oh, okay, that should be an invalid run, sadly. I'm sorry, Typo. That was a good effort. Good sport.
That's all right. Yeah. Oh, he ended up Goomba stomping the one of the hollows. But this is basically to get to lower Undead Berg, which you would have to. I don't even know how to get to it at this point casually. You'd have to basically do a few more bosses and eventually get the key down here.
You need to
For
get the
speedrunners.
key, which you get after Butterfly, I think. I'm not sure. I always forget where you
Imagine
get the
knowing,
key.
dude. Imagine.
Oh no, that the key is after
Yep. Don't
the
you pick it up? Oh, he gets grabbed
the key
by
is
thieves.
after the pig on
Yeah.
Parish, after the gate that you
He's
run
next
through.
to Halberd. Thank you, QQ. Insane casual runner.
Yes.
So he is doing Capper Demon now, I'm guessing. So Great Club Capper Demon, and then I guess he's going to transition to the Depths, maybe. This is an interesting route, but I'm all for it. It's really cool. He's going to kill the dogs, but the dogs are actually going to give him some trouble. We see him kind of going up to this cheesy spot, but he's going to get hit in the air by the dog as well. And now Capper Demon may be able to just take him, but no, never mind. He's going to kill the dog anyway.
Okay, he's doing. This is the most closest to a casual approach to Capra that we've seen so far, killing the dogs and
Yeah,
stuff. It's very.
usually.
We are seeing a lot of like close to intentional strats, like dev intended strats in today's session of races. We had Pink doing some tanky strats, killing stuff, doing a lot of getting hit, dodging, and all that stuff that we usually don't do.
Pretty
And
funny.
meanwhile,
Most of what we see Typo doing is just instead of running past the enemies, he's just killing them with his great club because it does so much damage.
yeah,
That's pretty
because
cool.
he has a club. You cannot
Yeah.
have like you shouldn't be able to wield a club like that and not use it. You have to use it. I take that dog. He missed, but
So I guess Newbie actually skipped the quit out. You can actually quit out on that elevator he was running out of. You can get to the top floor a little bit before the elevator gets to the top by jumping or by running on the rail. And if you
yeah.
quit out in time, the elevator will be sent back to its original position, but you'll stay on top so that you can reuse the elevator later on when you're trying to fight Priscilla. But it will lose a little bit of time. It's actually kind of slow, to be honest, to not quit out there, but it should be fine for Newbie.
Honestly, it's not really that big of a deal in an RTA setting because it's like
RTA
a
is fine.
2 second difference. So if you want to be really safe, I didn't do that on my race because I was like, yeah, fuck it. But if you want to be really safe and don't want to risk missing the jump and falling to your death, having to quit out and do it all over again, then
Yeah.
you can just skip the quit out. It's not a big deal. And we see Typo getting the large ember because
Did he
he's
pick up? He
using
picked up the large ember, yeah.
yeah, he's using a regular upgrade path weapon, so He wants to get that at least to +10.
Probably +15 too, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does New Londo soon after this to get the very large Ember.
That would be nice.
That would be super cool. This is a kind of awful fight though. Gaping Dragon has a lot of HP, and with an under-leveled weapon, it's kind of terrible, but feels casual.
Yeah, +0, no RTSR, Gaping.
Meanwhile,
It feels a little bit like doing Stray with +ET +0,
it feels
no
like
RTSR.
doing Stray, yeah. Back before Golas was found.
God, this is nightmarish.
Yeah, Newbie on the other hand is picking up the DT, which will upgrade to +5, but not until later. He has to fight ONS. ONS is a pretty random boss fight. I'm sure a lot of you have known this by now. I'm not really gonna rant about it, but it's probably the worst idea that game developers have come up with in the past decade. But whatever. So he takes the bonfire for safety here. Every runner has so far, just because you could just die to ONS because it's a terrible boss for no reason. So yeah. And
Yeah,
Gaping Dragon
you're wrong
goes
though.
down.
You're wrong though, but it's fine.
Why am I wrong?
We can still be friends.
No, I just don't know why I'm wrong. I don't think I could be wrong. Like, you either agree with me or you've been gaslit by the casuals who think ONS is like, oh, so iconic and symbolic and yeah.
Oh, it's a fun
like,
fight. You have to dodge stuff, you get hit,
yeah, it causes
die.
misery.
Yeah, but that's what Dark Souls is about.
I'd rather fight Manus, which is a pretty fair fight.
Yeah, Manus is better, but not by that much.
Newbie gets the good opener.
It would be a pretty amazing fight ONS if it wasn't so glitched. Like the worst thing about ONS is that it's so badly done in a technical sense. Like Ornstein will glitch so often, and you get like Smo's AI is all over the place. But yeah, it would be a lot better if it worked properly.
So like right there, actually, like Ornstein got pushed forward by Smo's hammer, so Newbie wasn't expecting to get hit by it like a normal person, and then he did because why not? So it's like a very good fight on paper, but then like they just dropped the ball on execution. It was almost like they treated it like Islith. And we see he's probably gonna die. Actually, no, he did roll that in time. That's probably dead to shovel. Yeah. Oh, he got the roll.
That was like.
Yeah.
That must have been like frame perfect, like
insanely.
That's insane. Yeah, that was an insane roll.
I haven't even paid attention to what Typo's doing. Typo's upgrading the Great Club to +5. I don't think he did any quantity storage glitches yet. I'm gonna pay attention to what he does so I don't. Oh, he's gonna do it to +10 as well because he picked up the Emperor, and so he's gonna be pretty big. Oh my God, this is. Actually, he upgraded to +6. Did he buy the weaponsmith box or just do the remaining levels here? I'm guessing.
I don't know. I got lost in the menuing. We get to enjoy Typo's run by going at it blindly. I'm not even trying to guess what he's gonna do. I'm just sitting here and enjoying it.
He got the weapon box. Yeah, I guess he just doesn't have enough Titanite shards yet. Which he would have had he been using prompt swap. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention prompt swap. Basically, we abuse the fact that this is a PC port, and so we can use the controller and the mouse at the same time to switch weapon categories that we're trying to buy or item categories while we try to buy the item of the original category that we're on. And that allows us to buy items that we normally wouldn't be able to afford. So that's how Newbie purchased the bottomless box, which will be used for Framed later on. He also leveled up 15 intelligence to be able to talk to Logan. And yeah, because if you have under 15, then Logan will just not talk to you or give you any spells, which is pretty crucial to Goalless Calamite and the rest of this run, to be honest.
And we see Typo picking up 2 large Titanite shards there in the chest, and he's probably going to be picking up another large Titanite shard that is and he's doing backstep boulder because he has a lot of health. He can afford to do that. That saves like 10 seconds RTA.
Most people just quit out, nice. Yeah, but that was cool. I haven't seen that since remastered.
So yeah, he's probably going to be picking up another large Titanite shard that is next to the bonfire after
Most likely,
the
yeah.
Great Soul.
He should be fine with Great Claw +6 on gargoyles though. Oh, not gargoyles on Iron Golem. Sorry, I mixed them up. Newbie's actually doing gargoyles with regular DT, and it's gonna be a very easy fight. Although move swapping on this ladder can sometimes be annoying.
Oh, you can also buy large Titanite shards from this guy from Crestfallen Merchant. He sells big shards and green shards.
I can't wait to be so familiar with him if I do axe to axe in SCM, because that's where you buy the great axe from. Worst weapon ever, I think. Oh, insane strafe on that gargoyle. I did not realize you could even strafe that attack.
I missed that. I was looking at
He strafed
Typo's
the
menu.
thrust. Yeah, that was insane. He's also, I guess, Typo's also going to insane strafe instead of just murdering. Yeah, I probably would have just hit him because you could do that.
Yes.
Typo also used the green blossoms, which gives you stamina regen, so he's probably going to be using it when he gets to ONS. But
Yeah.
as opposed to Newbie, go ahead, you.
I was going to say that we saw green blossoms save Pink's butt in ONS in the first race of today, because he got a roll that he wouldn't have been able to get thanks to the stamina regen. So those are a pretty neat plus for Typo.
Nice bench jump by Newbie, and watch how easy. Oh, that's good. Oh wow, yeah, it really is just. Oh wait, yeah. I was gonna say that was cool that it staggered on one hit. Oh, it's just gonna kill it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Just 2 more running attacks and he's done. That's still faster than than Drake's sword.
Than any Drake sword probably, yeah. So he
Yeah.
just kills it. Yeah, and now we see Newbie going over to Blighttown. Before he does that, though, he's going to talk to Rickard to get the Sorcerer's Catalyst, which he'll be using for his spells through the mid to late game. He's also going to go to Blighttown. I can start talking about 2 glitches. Well, no, 1 glitch, excuse me, called the fall damage cancel. When you fall down slopes in this game, once you hit the flat ground, damage is dealt to you, but it's a little bit delayed. And so if only there were a way to roll a bit earlier after you land to avoid that fall damage. Well, surprise, surprise, there is a way. If you plunge on a slope, the game thinks you've landed earlier than you actually did, and you can roll to iframe that delayed fall damage. So you're going to see Newbie do that twice, I believe, unless he peaches this to get down Blighttown.
He's going at least for the first one.
Yep.
And he gets it.
Yep. And then he got it.
He goes for the second one, and he gets it too.
Yep. The second one is a little bit harder, but
yeah, especially it's hard. It's a little bit tricky to line up because there are no clear visual references to. I mean, there are visual references, but they are not super specific as to how to line yourself properly and where to roll. I speak from experience.
If you look at chat, QQ tried to represent the plunge community, but the BTSers got a little bit upset and decided to hack him. A lot of people want to do BTS for no reason. It's just to flex on people. Regal said he's going to do it in the race against me if we ever.
Yeah, I'm hoping Regal does it.
Yeah, it'd be an honor to have Regal do BTS against me. It'd be great. I'd love it.
I mean, he would be a coward not to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, basically, like the runners have been in the position that the other runner is at already. Newbie's doing Quailag now, and Typo's going to ONS. I don't know if he's actually going to get the Dark Moon Tomb Bonfire. The reason why Newbie did it is because he's going to be doing Gwendolyn a bit later on. But I'm not actually sure how the ordering here works for. Yeah, he's not actually going to get the Dark Moon Tomb Bonfire.
Yeah, he's probably going to be doing Gwendolyn and Priscilla at the end of the run.
Yeah.
But is he doing like no RTSR at all? Like Pink did because I.
Doesn't have RTSR yet, so I mean, unless he ESMs, which he might.
But if he's doing Priscilla at the end of the run, then
Then probably
he's
not.
probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. It's probably a no RTSR route. Is pretty unfortunate, but that's fine. Just because no RTSR.
I mean, it's a little bit safer too. We saw Pink use that. Pink got like a lot of health, and it served him well. Like there would have been a couple of scenarios where he would have died against some bosses, and he didn't because of that. So.
What Newbie's doing now is he's basically going to be doing the main dupes of this route to get as many souls as possible and also as many soul spears as he needs to basically get all the magic that he needs and also to level up as much as he can. So to do this, he's going to be talking to Framped, and he's going to be using a glitch called quantity storage where
Oh
Typo
no!
basically died to
Typo died
to the SK, and the Silver Knight's toxic by falling off after he dies, which is pretty
Yeah,
insane.
he always throws himself. I mean, he regrets it kind of, I guess.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh no, what have I done? But yeah,
Yep.
this is a long run back. Sorry, continue with the.
Yeah. So quantity storage, you can basically you can view a quantity or load it, load 99 in your sort of quantity memory storage by going through a loading screen, which is what Newbie did for the first time. And he's doing a lot of menuing shenanigans, you know, queuing up the bone prompt, for example, and talking to Frampt at specific times to access those stored values. So you can actually see every time he sells Quelac Soul, he goes back into the 999 wooden arrows to restore 999 so that he can rinse and repeat 3 times. So this is the last cycle, and now he'll store 4 humanity so that he can QS. He can go to Logan and do the same thing for Soul Spears, so he buys 4 Soul Spears. It's what we saw Bolt do yesterday, except he got 999 Soul Spears. So it's a bit like Monka Mega in terms of compared to what Newbie's doing, but hopefully it works out for him. He's just going to end up boning back as well because he he used quantity storage with the bone prompt, and now he'll level up. Oh, actually, yeah, he actually forgot to rest at Firelink, and now he has to do an extra warp, but should be fine.
Yeah, that's weird. We haven't been doing that because we found out that actually not resting. Because at first, what we were doing is resting at Firelink, and then when we do the prom swap, the quantity storage buy at Logan, we were just using that bone we used to buy the quantity stored to just bone back to that bonfire that is right there because we thought that was faster IGT, but then we timed it and it turned out that not resting and just running from Logan to the bonfire was faster, like by a second IGT, and it's like 6 seconds faster, or like it's quite faster RTA.
So for the time being, Newbie's going to switch over to Magic for a bit of the mid-game bosses up until Hydra, I believe. No, up until...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and...
Typo's having a lot of trouble with this guy.
Yeah, Typo is struggling a bit with this Silver Knight Archer. Hopefully it's okay. He's trying to be as safe as possible quitting out, but... Honestly, he has the Drake Sword, so... But ooh, I would just probably kill him at this point.
There's something that happens with this guy. I don't know if it has to do with elevation. It probably is that you cannot block him. Like you saw there, Typo trying to block that thrust attack.
Well, that thrust attack is unblockable.
Is it? Oh, it shield pierces.
It pierces the shield. Yeah.
But I think he got hit by something else. I don't know. Maybe I'm blind.
I hit him a lot, so I mean, yeah. Oh, get fired. Should be fine. I mean, you have like Newbie has so much health at this point. Really, like the remaining bosses should be not brain dead, but pretty easy. Stray Demon used to be a terrible fight when we fought him with DT, but now he's doing magic. And I think Typo forgot to take the bonfire for ONS. And that's really scary because I do not want him to reset back to go back to Orlando. He must be super confident, or he just made a mistake. First time ONS, let's see it.
Let's go. I mean, he does have a lot of health.
Ooh,
he doesn't have a lot of heals though.
He does have he does have a lot of health. It's true. Oh,
That's not
that's
good.
already half gone.
Yeah, that attack deals a lot of damage, and especially if you get counter damage.
He's gonna take it so right back down to less than half health. I am a bit nervous here. Um, like it's not the end of the world if he goes back to the Anorlando bonfire. Oh, Newbie died to the Black Knight, but that's fine because he
Yeah,
picked
it's
up the
fine.
Peculiar Doll and he doesn't need the souls after.
He actually tried to kill him after picking up the doll for some reason, but the Black Knight was better.
Oh, he killed okay, so Ornstein was fine. He finally let up a little bit on the aggression, and Smosh should be easy. And I mean, honestly, he's out of healing, but I mean, at this point, he's just stagger locking Smosh, so it should be fine.
Yeah,
So
and
not
with
taking the
this,
bonfire either paid off, or he just didn't pay for his mistake.
with that amount of health, it would have been weird that I don't think Smoke can kill him in one blow with that amount of health.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like he would have had to like chain shovel him or whatever.
Yes.
Um, Yeah, and we see Newbie running to Priscilla. Um, on the Priscilla segment, Newbie's going to pick up the red side and soapstone, which might be a little bit confusing for people who haven't seen runs yet, but we'll be explaining why it's used for a glitch later on. It has to do with why he picked up the Ring of the Sun's Firstborn by the Dark Moon Tomb bonfire as well.
And we see Typo killing, well, not killing because she's not there, but dissipating the illusion of Guinevere, same as same as Newbie did. That's because one, it's a lot faster to kill her for the lore vessel than speaking with her and doing the covenant and all that. But also because by doing that, an Orlando becomes dark, and that allows us to later easily access Gwendolyn's fight, which we could still access without an Orlando going dark, but it's that way is faster.
Otherwise, you'd have to pick up a ring.
Or you can glitch
Or
through
glitch
the
through, yeah.
statue, which is something that I learned recently, actually.
Anyway, as we see Newbie traversing through the painted world, we see Typo doing, well, I guess, quantity storage at this point. But oh no, never mind. He just purchased the crest, and he also placed a Lord Vessel. Here's Newbie he's gonna pick up, the reason why he's going up here is to pick up the Red Sign Soapstone. And yeah, I won't have to explain ESM yet, but I will soon.
Typo is doing like move swap glitchless, like he's doing like glitchless with the exception of move swap. Nice shield badge, by the way. I learned very recently, well, not very recently, like a couple of months ago, that happens when you are running and blocking with your two-handed weapon, and you switch to the shield and try to block immediately. For some reason, the game tries to do a shield bash.
That is something, yeah. That's just like a left-handed attack. It happens if you move swap too quickly as well.
So yeah, Typo is quitting out here. He's quitting out here because you want to reset. Not only because it's, I mean, you do that on runs, on actual runs, because it's faster IGT than waiting for the door, but it's also necessary here to reset the trees because otherwise you wouldn't be able to sit at this bonfire, which you need. I mean, it's not necessary. You can kill the trees instead of instead of quitting out. It's technically can be faster in real time, but it's no big deal.
Newbie just got hit twice by Priscilla.
Yeah, Newbie is struggling we've been seeing people struggle really bad with finding Priscilla. I think one of our runners today earlier had a lot of trouble with that, and I don't think they were the first.
We see Ruin Skip by Typo. That's insane. No wrong warp strats right there, and we know he's going to Sif. This is actually, I get to advocate for melee Sif. Actually, I'm really glad Type was doing this because Newbie's probably going to be doing Magic Sif, which is pretty concerning. A lot of runners, for whatever reason, just do Magic Sif because they think it's better, but it actually sucks. and it's worth losing time on the extra dupes to butterfly. But no one's gonna believe me until I do my race, and then I'm just gonna show everyone why it's amazing. And I'm sure Red will have his amazing magic Sif fight, I guess. So why
Yeah,
am I talking?
I can't wait for you to die to
Yeah,
Sif in your race.
I'm setting myself up for death, I'm sure, but it's just super funny. Anyway, so while he's doing Sif, we're going to see Newbie doing quantity storage on Andre, this time to buy 999 pikes. Main reason being is because a pike is very heavy, so buying 999 of them makes you crammed. And when you're crammed, you can do a glitch called ESM. Basically, if you unequip the ring, or if you try to unequip a ring or any item in your equip inventory while you're crammed, the game's going to glitch out, and you actually see he didn't equip the Ring of Sun's Firstborn, so now he has to do that, and now he has to prepare to do the glitch. That dialogue question mark box pops up when you're crammed, and then it allows you to equip items in invalid slots. So in this case, he equipped the Red Slime Soapstone he picked up from the Painted World in the adjacent ring slot to the Ring of the Sun's Firstborn. And because for whatever reason that item shares the same ID as the Red Tearstone ring, he has now made the Red Tearstone ring without having to go to the Valley of the Drakes and pick it up. Pretty insane glitch that probably saves good amount of time. So it's really cool that we get to see it in this route. Typo won't be doing it, but he has the Ring of Favor and Protection, so it's pretty okay if you ask me. Is it actually faster RTA to kill the trees that we see?
I think it is. I think it is, yeah, because you can get, especially if you get them to line up and you can kill them with one soul spear. It's like probably about 3 or 4 seconds to kill them against the 10 seconds it takes to quit out. Even if you have to kill both of them separately, it would be like 5-6 seconds, because you can also be walking towards the bonfire while you cast. So
both runners actually going to Hydra now. Typo is foregoing the plunge that you can do down here. You could actually plunge on a slope and then roll midair. And if you time your roll correctly, you can iframe the fall damage and survive this fall. But ladder strats is totally fine. I guess if you're, I don't know, personally, I'm not a huge proponent of ladder strats. He is like over 20 firebombs, so he's literally just killing Hydra this way.
Yeah,
and also,
why bother?
Newbie's peaching it too. Come on, guys. Alright, never mind. We're not going to see plunge methods, I guess.
It's fine. It's very understandable. Like,
oh yeah, it's chill.
It's very understandable. You can very easily die to that plunge, doing like getting your angle like very slightly off and getting a slow plunge.
Yeah.
And you lose like 40 seconds on the run back.
Yeah. This is a pretty long Hydra fight from Typo. But I guess it's mainly because I guess jumping attacks with the GC +6 isn't good enough.
I mean, I think it's probably felt longer because he used a lot of bombs instead of melee attacks at the beginning. Like he spent like 15 seconds throwing bombs instead of waiting for the heads and hitting them.
You guys call it Supreme Ladder because Kamul did it in his ESA run?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's pretty...
I mean, if Kamul did it, then who cares? Yeah. I mean, if Kamul did it, I can do it.
Well, just Kamul did it, and then Zas got super annoyed. Which is honestly fair. Like, I'm setting myself up to fail every single skip that I trash other runners for not doing in this run so far in my commentary. So next week, you'll be able to see me fail miserably, I'm sure.
Thank God Typo isn't doing RTSR.
Yeah, well, yeah. This Golem can be a mess. I'm super fair. Okay, so both these runners killed the Golden Golem to free Dusk. I don't think Typo is going to do this. He's just going to bone out here, I think. But Newbie's running back to summon Dusk because he needs to buy Hidden Body. But he's also going to be using negative duping. So he'll quantity storage 999 Ulasil Ivory Catalysts, I believe, which Dusk does sell. And then in this game, you're only supposed to buy one of each weapon. And that's because every time you try and buy a weapon, the game checks to make sure that you can buy it. it does a calculation, which is insert the amount that you can buy here, which for a weapon is always going to be a set value of 1, minus the amount that you already have. So if you already have one of the weapons, it will do 1 minus 1, and then you can't buy that weapon because that value is 0, right? In the case here, he's quantity storage he's buying 999 catalysts, and so the game is going to do 1 minus 999. It will store a quantity of, actually he messed that up, so he has to redo that with Dusk. The game's gonna store negative 998, and then he'll be able to do a double menu with the brightness to access that stored memory, kind of like he did with Framped, and he'll be able to drop negative 998, which basically gives him 998 dragon scales. Let's see if he gets it here. Meanwhile, we have Typo doing Firebomb Butterfly.
Yeah, and also to add up all that explaining you did about Dusk, the main reason that Newbie is summoning Dusk is because of her crown. Because when you summon Dusk there, later her set spawns, which we only care about the crown out of the whole set, but we need the crown to kill Calamite without talking to Goff. But aside from all that, like while we're doing that, we use Dusk to do all this menuing and stuff. But the crown is the main reason. It's the reason we changed all the route to free Dusk and summon her and then do the Golfless thing.
Crown gives a pretty big boost. It makes you take more damage from sorcery, but imagine any enemy using sorcery in this game, so you should.
I mean that's actually relevant actually because you can get you can get RTSR from Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
Thanks to the crown.
I was the one who brought that up, and then I forgot it. Nice. And we see here that Newbie's doing Magic Sif, so there's a part of me that really wants him to mess up here and die, but that's kind of rude of me to do that, so I wish him the best. I kind of want to prove my point, but I don't even know, man. It's whatever. One of the glitches here is that if you run straight into this arena, unlike Newbie correctly did at the side, the Soul Spears actually die because they hit Sif when he spawns in. Yep, that was extremely close, and there we go. He got hit. There's a reason he's not doing RTSR here. It's because Magic Sif sucks, and he doesn't feel confident with it. He probably would
Sif would have been dead. Sif would have been dead if he had.
Yep, he would
have been dead before that attack happened.
Yep,
if he had RTSR.
But we see exactly my point. It just dwindles the confidence of runners, and you should do DT Sif. Anyway, we see that's fine. You know, whatever. He's gonna have to do Butterfly now. Feels weird, man. And now we have Typo going to Duke's Archives.
Yeah, we will see Newbie right here picking up the Elite Knight set, which he will be using later the gloves of to set up meme rolls, which is something that we will gladly explain later when they come into play. And we see Typo. We saw Typo kill the Crystal Golem, which dropped an item called the Broken Pendant, which is the key to the DLC. And that Golem only drops that item after you free Dusk. So that's why this is done in this order. That's why Seath has to be done before the DLC, and why it has to be done after freeing Dusk.
We see Typo here actually doing Duke Skip. That's a pretty classic skip. It skips the prison sequence where Seath is scripted to kill you, and then okay, I'm sorry. The chat thinks I'm actually angry. I'm not angry. I'm like super joking about it. Like it's true, but I'm not angry about it. I just need to be.
It's a joke.
No,
okay,
I need people
it's a joke.
Understand
it's true,
I'm not
but it's a
actually
joke.
being upset here. I'm having a great time. I'm just trying to be funny about the whole thing. Anyway, so Duke Skip saves quite a bit of time because it lets you roll into like that third or second floor or whatever without having to do the prison sequence. Don't try being funny. Well, that's my motto, to try and be funny. Yeah, I need to talk about DT Sif. Mario, you're also doing DT Sif, so stop.
Okay, so we see now Newbie approaching the same area that Typo is living right now. I actually lost track of what each player has done so far. I mean, I know what Newbie has done because I'm familiar with his route, but I don't know. I don't remember what Typo has done, so I don't know who's ahead right now.
For sure.
I've watched so many runs these days. I don't like my memory cannot keep up with where did I see what. Like I don't remember who did what precisely.
They're kind of in the same area, but they've done a different number of bosses and stuff. So I mean, that will end up playing out. That's you, but with everything. There's no bullying. No bullies here. Feel speedsels. And Newbie opts to not use hidden body for this part. It would have made
it's
this
fine.
section a bit cozy. Yeah, it's totally fine. If you do it fast enough on the elevator, though, it doesn't lose any time, and it makes this area really cozy. You can just run through it. But again, either way is fine. You can path around
Yes.
just as much.
Newbie is probably going to be using hidden body in order to not have this happen precisely. This is something that hidden body helps a lot with. These enemies are very annoying. It's not often that they kill you before you reach Seath, but it's something that can happen. Oh no!
Yeah. Do the back.
Oh
Do the
no!
back. Do the
Oh
back.
no!
No!
Oh that was
Wow.
that was such a meme.
Well,
So
I
they're
was
both
gonna say.
they're synced. They're synced now, almost.
I was gonna say that Typo lost so much time with that death, but I mean he did because he was further along. But I mean it doesn't matter. Yeah, it took too long to decide.
That's such a meme.
Yeah. So for those of you who are not wondering, that can happen. In when you try Duke skip and you're a bit too much to the right, but you can actually do a backup where you roll down to another floor and then take the stairs up, and you would end up at the same place where you would be if you were to do Duke skip correctly. But it's not everyone knows how to do it. It's a pretty niche. It's a pretty specific thing.
I've
So
seen it done, but I've
wondering.
never done it myself.
Yep.
I've tried it though. I like randomly tried it, but it never worked for me. I've never actually practiced it.
I was like, by the time I learned about it, I was like so good at Duke skip that I never missed it again. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess there's
Oh,
a
insane flex.
That's also another joke. I gotta be careful because people don't understand my tone, which makes sense. I'm extremely monotone, so people think I'm actually BMing people when I'm doing it with the hugest smile on my
Newbie
face.
is having fun with the pig.
Newbie's getting hit by the walk of shame boar.
No, he was just setting up RTSR. It's fine.
Ah, yes. Please be nice, Ike. Yeah. I'm known for malding on stream, and now I'm taking my anger out on the runners for no reason. That's basically what's happening. Oh, I'm gonna fail Duke skip. I'm gonna lose DT Sif. I'm gonna die to ONS 4 times. I'm just setting myself up for bad karma. For sure. So I will not be surprised, to be honest. Yeah, maybe I'll unequip RTSR too. I'll have to recram. Oh, and here we go. Here's Newbie's actually gonna be using hidden body here, so he'll be able to just run
since
straight.
he doesn't need to move swap now, he decides that he can take the chance. He probably didn't do it before because he didn't want to get caught with having a little time to retry move swap if he fails it. Like after casting hidden body, you get like 2 chances to do it before the elevator reaches the top, and after that you're losing time if you retry. So that's probably why he didn't go for it.
It's kind of sucky though, because both runners have to redo Duke skip, but we saw Typo get it the first time, and let's see Newbie retry it this time. Hopefully it should work.
But it's fine because Duke skip is a nice glitch, a nice skip. Nice to see.
It's a lot in hitless runs, so
that's a weird camera angle.
So I think Newbie's actually rolling a bit too late and also a bit too much to the right. So if he can adjust that on the fly, that would be good. But he'll eventually.
I don't think that camera angle is helping him set up properly either. But to each their own.
Newbie's also not Newbie. Typo's actually also using humanity heals to his advantage, which I guess he can do if you're not using RTSR. Totally no problem.
It's understandable, especially since He has so much health that chugging like 4 times is probably slower than using a humanity. And yes,
Well,
as you said, you
yeah.
don't need to take damage from enemies to set up RTSR, so you don't care about having more resistance, which actually it's better for you to have more resistances if you don't want to have RTSR.
Yeah, just level resistance, Monka Giga. The tricky thing about Duke Skip, though, is that you could actually roll a bit more to the left than it seems. So what a lot of runners struggle with, myself included a lot, is I just
There you
don't
go.
roll left enough because I think I'm going to ricochet off. And that only happens if you roll, like, insanely left.
Yeah, you
So you
can
have a
also
lot more
roll.
wiggle room.
You can also roll earlier than it looks. Like you can go through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
texture. In fact, I think you can roll a lot earlier in PTDE than in remaster. At
I
least
wouldn't doubt
I
that.
feel like it after doing it a lot in both versions.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I might be wrong or might be confirmation biased or something.
So Ayame mentioned this pathing that Typo is doing, and I think Newbie's going to do it too. It's very specific pathing to make sure the clams don't catch up to him, because if they do, and if they're close enough to Typo by the time he triggers this fight, the clams will actually enter the fight with him, and they'll spawn inside of Seat's body, basically, which makes this fight really hard, especially because it's not a two-shot Seath. I've died a lot of times to that in No Wrong Warp, so...
Yeah.
Uh, that's why I think using hidden body is really cool. It's technically, actually, I'm not sure if it's even slower because I think you could just
No,
path
because
straight.
you can go
Yeah.
straight, and
Yep.
I mean it's probably still slower because pathing is not that big of a deal in that case. You don't take like a huge detour,
Yeah, for sure.
but it's very comfy and it's fine. It's worth it unless you're like trying to milk every single possible half second to get that sub 103, sub 104.
And sub 104, sub regal. Mon gas. It is pretty amazing how I don't know if we mentioned that these new strats that Newbie is doing basically with the magic, and eventually we'll see him do goalless Calamite. That was all found by Androv like a few weeks leading up to this tournament. So a lot of runners, Ayame and myself included, have been grinding new versions of this route to make sure we're ready for it to showcase it to you guys for the tournament. Um,
Yes.
it's a really, really nice time save. And before this, the fastest you could probably get was maybe around a 107, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Regal, you can confirm that. But now it's like,
Oh
I mean,
my
Regal.
god.
Oh my gosh!
I was going to
That
say
clam.
that that was a weird pathing
Oh,
because you can just run straight through them with hidden body and they don't care. Like they won't bother you if you just go straight for the crystal. But yeah, probably newbie was used to the old like the no hidden body pathing and he
and
will stick to that
yeah, and
and that can happen.
now he's just going. He's going forwards. He didn't kill Seath, right? So
I don't, is
now he's
he
just going
like
forwards with
forfeiting?
Guardian. Is he forfeiting?
I don't know. Maybe he's forfeiting and he wants
Maybe
to
he's
finish
doing
the
the
race.
DLC first. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could. You can do that. Yeah, maybe you can do DLC first and then
Work to
yeah, and then do that. You don't gain
Yeah,
anything really because
I mean, they both got the pendant, so I mean, that's what you
yeah,
mostly need. Interesting strat, though. Excuse
yeah,
me.
you can kill the clams with Dark Bead or Soul Spears later. I mean, you could use Soul Spear now, but yeah, I mean, it works. Actually, you can do that. Like you don't really lose time because you can warp to Arnold Londo anytime. Yeah, or
Yeah,
don't need to move swap. Yeah, yeah, it's fine. It's
totally
fine
fine.
actually.
So both runners are still kind of actually synced up now. So I mean, I mean, obviously Typo's a little bit ahead because he just killed a Guardian, but they're around the same area. We're gonna see Newbie here pick up the Crown of Dusk. It's pretty devastating if you accidentally enter uh, the DLC without picking up the ring or the set. So, good job for not doing that, I guess. Um, and I guess I assume that Typo is going to be doing the plunge for Royal Wood Skip. He quits out there to reset the positions of the farmers that would run after him otherwise. Um, yeah, he could be using Hidden Body, and Lightning Guardian is being terrible. I think Newbie took the bonfire there, right?
I didn't pay attention.
I'm not sure either. I hope he doesn't die though, because Guardian Control, as we see over here, he's just
I mean,
using
if you're not going to do RTSR, you should take that
you should take the
bonfire.
bonfire, yeah. But I thought he used the Humanity and just kept going. Either way, it works out just fine for him.
Yes.
So yeah, this is exactly. So we're gonna see a plunge from Newbie, and we're gonna see the first instance of air rolls. Oh, sorry, plunge from Typo. First instance of air rolls from Newbie. Um, and yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
we
wanna
see him
you wanna go
rolling.
ahead and explain air
Well, I
rolls?
don't actually know. I don't actually know entirely how it works. Um, I think you could actually be at a certain equip load in Prepare to Die edition, and in Remastered, there's a bigger equip weight window
Yeah,
that you can use, and it allows
you
you
have like a
to chain your
floating
rolls
point.
midair. Yeah.
You have like a floating point margin or and in Prepare to Die, which I don't know exactly how you like why it happens. The casual explanation that usually I think I've heard Doug say sometime is computers can do math properly. And so yeah, if you are between 25% and 25.0000 something percent of equip load, you get you're like you are in mid-roll territory but not quite, so you get that glitch and you get to roll in midair. So you get to chain rolls until you reach the floor, and that way when you reach the floor you're still rolling. And if you do it properly and you time the rolls properly, you will be on the inside the rolls iframes when you reach the floor, so you will iframe the fall damage in a similar way that you iframe the fall damage with a roll when you do plunges. In the remaster, that margin that margin you get is quite bigger. It's like 25 to 29% or something like that, and that's where it got discovered that you could do that, because you can very easily just equip something and be there,
Probably
like
one of the first times Remastered.
without actually intending to, and then rolling for some reason
Oh,
of
he
a
booted
legend.
up his fist, and not the bow. And not the rapier. That's really bad on
Oh,
Newbie. Yeah, it's okay though. He managed to get it. Um, And yeah, one thing we didn't really mention here is these runners are going to have very different DLCs. For example, well, most notably, I'll say, Typo is going to have to fight Calamite for real after Manus, but before Manus, Newbie's actually going to do goalless Calamite, where he can just kill Calamite without having to have Go shoot him down, which saves a lot of time because he doesn't have to do what Typo's doing now, which is running to buy the crest key so he can later on unlock the door to Go. And then fight him normally. And that's going to save all of the time. Well, not all of the time, but most of... it's going to be the biggest time save for Newbie. We'll say that in the DLC
yeah.
at least.
Godless Calamite, in line with almost all of the innovations, uh, maybe not even almost, like all of the innovations that have been made to this route in the last few weeks, and not only makes the route faster, it also makes the route more like easier and more comfy in general. Like
Nice
having
terrain.
hidden body, having more damage, more health, having soul spears to deal with enemies in the distance. Like it's very nice quality of life. Like it makes the run better, easier, and everything. Oh my god,
He
that's a
got
lot
chopped by a
of
sorceress,
damage.
yeah. I think he's actually going up to take the bonfire, which... No, he's not. He's
No, he's just sending the elevator back up,
sending it
so
back
he
up,
has
yeah.
that in case he dies because he's checked at the bonfire.
Newbie's taking a slight detour from the DLC to do Gwendolyn. This is something that I believe Typo will do at the end of the run, but it's just faster to do Gwendolyn here. And he has the Dark Moon Tomb Bonfire, so it should be easy. He could actually take RTSR here if Gwendolyn does an attack and just one-shot
But
Gwendolyn
he
with one move
didn't.
swap, but he didn't because he didn't get it. And he does the backstep strat as well, feels Master Man. And yeah, now he's going to run to goalless Calamite. Hopefully, it goes over well, and hopefully he can save a lot of time. It's a really cool thing that, again, I'm really glad Androff found a few weeks before the tournaments that we could all showcase it. But yeah, as I said before, Typo is going to Manus first, which Newbie
And
will be doing last after this skip.
and Typo successfully going through Hellbridge without hidden body, which is quite a feat,
Or the
actually.
Augur's pathing. What the heck? And we also see Newbie do a late hidden body cast here, but I think that's going to be okay. Hopefully the dog doesn't run up on him before he can shoot him. But it's actually a bit more optimal to, well, at least more, it's comfier to cast hidden body earlier there before jumping. But either way, he was fine, and it worked out well for him. Basically, the point is, he's going to have to trigger Calamite and then run to a specific spot so that Calamite's fire doesn't hit him. Meanwhile, he can be shooting Soul Spears at Calamite. And then he also equipped the, he also has the Black Separation Crystal, which if you use it in this game, because I think it's an online weapon, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's invalid, and you shrug. You get a shrug animation when you try to use it, and so it's a bit of a meme mechanic, or a bit of a meme skip in this regard, but you can shrug 8 times, and time when Calamite is going to be coming back to the place where you can shoot him. This is a bit concerning. I don't think he looked up correctly, so I think what Newbie's going to do is he's just going to... Meanwhile, Typo's a little bit lost, yeah. While that was happening, Typo's trying to find Manus, which is fair. The chasm's very dark, so I would definitely not be able to find Manus on my chasm.
I was talking muted for like 30 seconds.
Oh, right.
I was saying that, yeah, that what happened to Typo was very funny, actually. I was laughing. So good thing I was muted, I guess.
Well, I mean, oh, hi Alt F4. Insane world record holder of any % Dark Souls remastered, but imagine playing remastered. And he's gonna heal at a pretty pretty concerning place. As we see here, that sorcerer does a lot of damage. Meanwhile, we have Goalless Calamite being done by Newbie. It would have been a little bit it would have been very optimal to do it in 2 cycles, but it's totally fine. You can see the 8 shrug method on full display here, as we see Newbie's doing it 8 times to time when Calamite's going to come back.
Yeah, and he actually got a fast cycle.
He got the fast cycle, yeah. And so, oh, he jumps, but I think that's okay.
Yeah, that's probably probably like
wow,
let
he got
go.
that last one. Okay. And yeah, and Calamite's dead, and so now he can move on to Manus, while Typo still has to fight Manus and fight Calamite with the Great Club +6. Ooh, this is
Is it still +6? Great Club?
I
Didn't
think
he
it
upgrade
is.
it at some point?
Is. Otherwise, I feel like it should be doing a lot more damage.
I mean, this is no RTSR, and Manus is one of the bosses that has
true.
more health in the game.
By the way, we saw Newbie do air rolls here, so it skips the entire running section that that Typo had to do. Hopefully, we see the Poggers pathing here, which is just running in a straight line, and we're gonna see the right side Poggers pathing, which is really
let's go! Woo!
Insane, yeah. That's something that Ayame quote unquote discovered, I guess, if you want to call it that, and he gets really happy. He just copies Regal, who did left side Poggers pathing, but you can no longer do it with Goalless Calamite because of some meme that I don't even want to explain right now.
No, I was actually doing that in Hitless, way before I started speedrunning.
Typo died right at the end there. That's unfortunate.
Yikes.
That was a long and hard fight.
I mean, the good thing about dying there is you get to fight Manus again, which is a very cool fight.
Yeah, Manus is a great fight. I mean, very good idea from the devs, I gotta say. They should have done the same. They should have hired the same people to do the ONS fight.
Honestly, you can really tell. I think you can really tell in this DLC that they actually learned a lot when they did the DLC from the underwhelming bosses in the main game.
Yeah.
Because both Artorias, Manus, and Guardian are great bosses, and even Calamite, if it weren't because of messed up hitboxes and messed up AI, it would be a pretty cool fight too. But instead, it's trash because he does so much weird stuff with his neck and his flying hitboxes.
What is going on with both of these runners not using hidden body? Like, I don't
I don't
understand.
know.
I
I don't
don't
know.
get
Maybe,
it.
maybe,
It's
maybe, maybe,
unfortunate.
maybe they challenge themselves or
Yeah,
something. I mean,
yeah.
Typo doesn't even have it.
Typo doesn't have it. That's fair because I don't think he's even doing magic in the route. So I understand that, but Newbie could have easily used it there, and the sorceress wouldn't have given it an issue. So I don't know. Um,
Yeah,
no
hopefully the
shade to
second
either of them.
try.
You know, I'm personally confused by it.
Yeah, I mean, it is confusing when
Oh, did it just run
I
out for Newbie? Is that the problem? Maybe he casted it too early. I'm not sure.
maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe he cast it too late, the first one, and then it ran out. I mean, he cast it too late, so he didn't get a chance to cast the second one before going down to where the humanities are. Maybe that's what happened. I missed it, so I
Yep.
don't know.
That could be it for
And
sure, but I'm not entirely
okay,
sure.
so one head left on Manus. That was a very close roll.
Now we have Typo finally taking out Manus, which is really cool. And Newbie doesn't have RTSR, but I don't think he was trying to get RTSR.
Yeah,
Manus is a pretty
doesn't look
tough
like it.
fight for sure, so pretty understandable why you would want to just be safe on this boss, right? Especially if the runners know that they're kind of neck and neck. They know that none of them necessarily have to do any risky strats, so to speak. Um, or they're just not comfortable with it, which is also very understandable because Manus would be a tough fight.
Yeah, Manus, aside from being one of the coolest fights in the game, it's also one of the toughest ones. He has a lot of fast attacks that punish you if you make a mistake.
Yeah, there's some pretty risky strats you can adapt on Manus to go a little bit faster, like strafing the shotgun or strafing a couple of attacks, but it's just not worth it. Um, I don't think I don't think Typo remembered to talk to Go though. Oh, he hasn't even triggered Calamite. Okay, so never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has to
okay,
do the whole thing.
the whole thing, and there we go.
I mean, now it's the moment where Typo surprises us and does melee Golfless with the Great Club in like 20 cycles.
Feels Maz, man. I have yet to watch that race, but I
That
imagine
would be hype, yeah.
these dogs are terrible.
Yeah, kill them all. They are
Actually, yeah,
very
he managed
annoying.
to kill them pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually very
Yeah.
admirable. It's not easy to hit those dogs with the running attacks.
And as you predicted, he's doing Seath now. So I imagine that's actually a pretty good idea from Newbie because he probably didn't think he could mentally handle going through Duke's archives
Yeah,
again, which
yeah,
personally I wouldn't be
that's
able
very
to
fair.
after failing it twice. So yeah, totally understandable. And it might pay
That's
off for him, especially because he has so much time saved from Golas. We're gonna see how terrible the Calamite fight is here from Typo. He could get a really good opening, and it's a 3-shot Calamite, but I don't know. I think Calamite's been pretty salty recently about how there are so many Gola strats coming out, so he's gonna really he's gonna really put in his work. It's been a pretty awesome race
yes.
for sure. It's been pretty neck and neck, to
It's
be
been
honest.
pretty nice getting mixed matchups because I think for almost I think we haven't had the two runners running the same route in any race. Like every race has been different routes. So we got like pretty lucky, I would say. Well, maybe it's not lucky because it's because of the seating and stuff, but all the ES Melee's runners have been paired against people doing other stuff. So it's been very entertaining watching different strats.
The Typo said no to go, which you don't want to be saying. You want to tell him that you are scared of Calamite.
Yeah.
So he has to quit out. I don't think he realized that for a little bit, and now he has to talk. And there we go. So now he just says yes, and he's on track. Current world record runs that are so excellent that they're held with an unintentional player death. Um, any good run isn't good, quote unquote, isn't gonna have a death. So, yeah, I mean, in this game, usually if you don't die, and unless you're doing ridiculously peach strats, like you're probably gonna be faster than a run that does die. Although that also isn't necessarily true considering skill differences and whatnot. I mean, My first sub 110 actually had a death. So, yeah.
Yeah, some deaths you don't lose a whole lot of time to. Like there are some deaths that you lose like 10 seconds or 50 or 20 or something.
Yeah, Puffy. I
Um,
mean, the world record I don't know if this is true, but for a while though, 100% world record had a death in it, right? Because Kumul died. Um, Kumul died. I think he died once or twice, but they were both pretty short deaths, where the run back wasn't that long, and he ended up being faster than Dan Flesh's run, which was deathless, just because he was faster in other areas and stuff. So having a death doesn't necessarily dictate like the run compared to others necessarily, but usually to optimize a run, you don't die. That's usually the optimal version, like unless you have a forced death or something like that.
okay, so moving away from this conversation, we have Typo approaching Calamite, which again, he gets a good opener. It's an annoying
Oh,
fight, but it's also a very cool one if you ignore the fact that it's all broken.
and that's a terrible
And
attack. I hate it.
yeah. Oh, you know what? Newbie, since he doesn't need to be checked at the garden Darkroot Garden bonfire, he can take the
Bonfire.
speech bonfire.
Yeah. That could
That's one
also be
reason.
one of his reasons for coming
Yes,
back here.
I
Very
didn't think of
smart.
that.
That's really smart, honestly. So hats off to Newbie for calling an audible there and realizing that he just couldn't do Duke's Archives in that very moment, and instead of stubbornly going back and saying maybe I'll get it this time, he was just going to move over to the DLC. And I think it's going to pay off for him, considering how terrible this Calamite fight is. No fault to Typwo. This is just terrible RNG. You can
Yeah,
see it's just like the 5th time he flew. It's
yeah,
really bad. Yeah. All right. That's a
and
good
there
attack.
you go.
Yep.
Typo has not low damage, but not having RTSR means he doesn't get to kill him in 3 running attacks as we used to in ES So
Yep.
that opens the door for a lot more PS RNG.
I thought you said lawnmower there.
What?
You said a lot more. Yeah. I cannot understand words sometimes. Just wanted to bring that up.
That's
And
fine.
we see Newbie also using hidden body, so he'll hopefully, unless move swap takes him a while, he'll be able to run through. Uh, he didn't say lawnmower. He said a lot more.
Okay, newbie is going for the straight pathing. Maybe he heard us. Maybe he just realized that it didn't make sense to go around.
Yeah, he heard us
But
in the commentary.
he manages to get to Seath. He doesn't have a an arrow. Oh no, because he did move swap before getting. He still got a clam though. That's
Yeah,
weird.
sometimes yeah, what I'm guessing is it must have ran out a bit earlier than he wanted it to, because he used hidden body before move swapping
Yeah.
and it took a few attempts.
Because actually, what happens? Let me add this up. A lot of times, what happens when you do hidden body Seath is not that the clams don't follow, is that they get inside, but since you still have hidden body going, they just lose aggro, and you can see them actually if you pay attention the next time you do Seath. Look at the fog gate. You will probably see 1 or 2 clams chilling there, trying to get away from the combat because they don't notice you because you had hidden body at the beginning of the fight. So yeah, probably what happened is that one got in and his hidden body ran out just as he was starting the fight, and it didn't lose aggro.
And we see Newbie going for Ceaseless. It's actually slightly more optimal to do Fire Sage Elevator Clip first. It's like a little bit faster. It also makes the menuing a lot more comfier, but technically this doesn't actually lose that much time, and so what Newbie's doing is totally fine. He's in the phase of the run where it's just a boss rush because he has Dark Bead, which we didn't mention. He picked up Dark Bead, which is a very overpowered spell to use in the late game. From right before Manus' arena, he killed a sorceress that was guarding it, and then he picked it up with Hidden Body and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he'll be two-shotting a lot of these bosses, and he'll actually also be doing one king in the Four Kings fight. So that
Yeah,
will save a lot of
Newbie,
time.
Typo is very well equipped against fire damage when he faces Gwyn because he got the Black Knight shield, which has insane fire defense.
And we see a left side ceaseless. Confused face.
Yes.
I think
Don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know. But people have told me right side's faster, but I don't know
Yeah,
if it's true.
it's you can really feel it. Uh, you
What's
take a big,
missing?
huge stroll to the left
Well,
side.
Puffy. Oh, that's a 3-shot ceaseless. That's unfortunate, but that's fine. I
That's
think he
fine.
traded,
That's a couple.
and ceaseless will
Yeah,
die. He doesn't need the souls after anyway. What
he
is
even
missing for
got
both runners? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no. He died. I'm saying that he even got the you died before the victory achieved with it, which is faster than getting it all the way around. Or no, or is it actually the other
Main
way
jump.
around?
Um,
Maybe you want to get it the other way around. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
as long as you get it, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we see Fire Sage elevator clip here. One thing we didn't mention is when you load back in this game after a quit out, the stand-up animation pushes you back a little bit. And so Newbie very well positioned himself on that slope, where he's going to be pushed back after every quit out. So he's going to quit out until he falls down because he's sliding down the slope. And he'll be right above a reskin of the Asylum Demon boss. Coincidentally, it's a reskin of the Asylum Demon, which makes this boss able to be plunged. So he could plunge Fire Sage right here, survive the fall, which he wouldn't be able to if this boss wasn't plungeable, and then just finish him off with Dark Bead. So it's a super fortuitous skip because it's just a coincidence that everything lines up perfectly, and we're able to do that skip and not have to. Basically, we skip into Islith without having to kill Fire Sage normally.
Interesting to see Typo was about to enter the fight with Gwendolyn, and then he decided he wanted to take that bonfire just in
Guessing,
case he dies to Gwendolyn. Because
or he thought it was faster to bone out. I'm not entirely sure.
yeah,
Afterwards,
but it
because he has to do
shouldn't be.
Priscilla after. I don't know.
Because you still have to run it. Like you have to do most of the run.
Yeah.
Because when you kill Gwendolyn, it puts you right beside the door. So I don't know. Anyway, people are asking what bosses our runners have left. Newbie has the now only Bed of Chaos, Pinwheel, Nito,
He has the
Capra,
3-shot
Gaping,
Gwendolyn.
Four Kings, and Gwen. While Taipu has all of those except Capra and Gaping, and also he has Gwendolyn and Priscilla.
Typo
So
actually, with this kind of damage, he's not able to one cycle Gwendolyn, which is kind of unfortunate.
yeah,
But it's okay. We see Newbie take down Centipede Demon pretty easily, especially the new magic. This is concerning pathing. I really hope he doesn't die here. Okay, we're fine. What was I gonna say? With the new Gola strats, we can the late game becomes a lot easier because of the fact that we have the Dust Crown. So, like I said, it will allow Newbie to do one king and allows you to do 2-shot Ceaseless, 2-shot Centipede, and should be pretty good. He's running over to Bed of Chaos now as well, which is a kind of like a platforming boss mostly. Um, he'll be using fire bombs, the classic Toki bomb strat, to kill the 2 nodes of Bed of Chaos so that he doesn't have to actually run around the arena while Bed of Chaos is swiping at him or anything like that.
yeah. One thing we've noticed like we've seen with these route differences, and it has come up multiple times already, is that we sometimes reach a point where runners are like close in number of bosses when they reach the late game, but the runner doing ES melees just finishes a lot quicker because this route cleanup phase is very fast, as you said, because we have a lot of magic damage and stuff. So even though it might seem that they are somewhat close, um, the bosses that are left for newbie, even though they are kind of the same in number to Typo, they are a lot less time.
Right.
Because he's going to be killing them a lot faster than Typo is.
Yep. And not if he has to run back from. Oh, sorry, they're talking about Gwendolyn. It is still anybody's race, though. You know, either of these runners could mess up, and there could be a pretty big run back. So don't count anybody out yet. Both runners are doing a really good job, and personally, I find it super cool that Typo's doing a different kind of route, because as we move on in the tournament, a lot of the runs are gonna look exactly the same as what Newbie's doing, and that's just because it's the fastest version of this route, and people are trying to be as fast as possible. So. I'm not cursing the runners. I ain't cursing the runners at all. Both runners are very capable of doing this run very well. So probably a lot better than I would in some cases as well, because under pressure I'm terrible.
Yeah, and when I was saying that Typo has less, like he will be done faster, I meant that if everything goes right, because even if Newbie's route is faster, he can still mess up, and Typo can play well, and even if his route is lower, he could win. So that I didn't mean to say that the run was over in any capacity.
That's your job to curse the runners, apparently.
No, that's made up.
Yeah, it's a joke. Newbie's going on to the Catacomb segment to do Nito and Pinwheel. And Typo just finished up Priscilla. I don't know what Typo's going to do next. I guess we'll see and look, react to it.
Probably either Isolith. I mean, it doesn't matter, right, for him, because he's going to be having the same damage for the rest of the round. So it's whatever order he chooses.
We're gonna see the last installment of air rolls from Newbie soon as well. These are actually the scariest air rolls to do, because you can actually hit a skull, a flying skull on the way down, and that will mess up your basically your rolling sequence, and you may not be able to chain rolls correctly, and you would die.
Unless you're SAS, in which case it won't affect you for some
Yes.
reason.
Yesterday, Sass actually finally saying something correct. What are you talking about? I don't know what he's talking about there, at all. I was actually about to praise him for getting past the air rolls.
Oh
Yesterday.
well, so SAS, you were getting praised, but now you're not. You aren't. So
Yeah.
enjoy your sassy comment.
Or your sassy comment. Bad strap propaganda. I guess so.
And we see again Newbie not using hidden body. Like Newbie has something against hidden body. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know if he just doesn't know, or if he's trying to be faster by not having.
maybe he doesn't know how it works.
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going through his head. Honestly,
It's weird.
my brain
Maybe
is
yeah.
washed when I
He's
do
probably
race
just
it.
forgetting. He's probably just
Yeah.
forgetting. It's no big deal actually.
I mean, it's working for him, except for a few cases where it killed him. I mean, I mean it's fine here. I really hope he uses it in Nito's arena, because that would be unfortunate if he died to skeletons.
Yes, that is
Yeah,
one
maybe
spot
hidden
where
body
you
is
really want to.
maybe we took the DS3 hitless route and we banned hidden
No,
body.
my
runs.
God. Don't get me started on hitless nonsense, because I'm trying really hard not to swear.
You already did. You already did swear.
Yeah,
I
I was hoping no one noticed. Okay.
No, it's fine. You just embrace it and say sorry. Um, how can we tell who's running if we can't see him? Yeah, exactly. It might just be a ghost or a bot or whatever.
So yeah, Newbie missed the jump to where he got the Black Knight suicide, but um he didn't get the halberd, so I guess he's not blessed with RNG. And he didn't get the jump either, so he had to go the other way around. Meanwhile, um, meanwhile, We have Typo approaching ceaseless.
And yeah. You have these pinwheel servants. Oh, and he fell down, but that's fine. Oh, that's how you're supposed to go back up. Okay, I've been doing the wrong thing. I've been walking backwards basically every time I fall down there. Yeah, that's why I get laughed at when I do that. Okay.
Well, today you learn.
But yeah, I learned from being a commentator. See, sometimes it pays, kids. And he did manage to do hidden body, and he's gonna soul spear Nito, which is another strat that we have now because we can soul spear with 99 int and the Crown of Dusk, and it only takes 4 shots. We used to have to dark bead, and I guess actually when Typo comes down there, he's gonna end up equipping the stone armor, and he'll have to do move swap Nito, but it should be fine because stone armor gives you so much poise from the skeletons.
Yeah, it's probably going to be fine, especially considering the amount of health that Typo has. He is doing mainly a move swap here. I don't know how you guys actually call that, but he's doing aggroing ceaseless with, and he gets the weird 3-hit attack from ceaseless.
And he heals as well as Ceaseless Races his arm, so should be fine. Ooh, that's the... I don't even know if that attack is avoidable.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
you can roll it, but it looks like it's one of those attacks that even if you roll it, the attack has more damage frames than you have iframes. But I don't know. Obviously, I
Maybe
haven't
is
spent
doing...
time.
Me neither. I've either done the easy kill method or just dark beated him. Newbie's doing what Typo was doing at the beginning of this run, which is lower undead Berg skip. As we saw, the Capra Demon fight was a lot easier because he could just dark beat him and it one-shots. And now he's going to move on to the Depths, which is the second to last boss. Well, which has the second to last boss. And hopefully the Gaping Dragon fight will be a lot faster for Newbie as well. Because of Dark Bead. But both runners are in the late game, so it's not like anybody is particularly behind. Oh, he has 4 kings left. Okay, yeah. I keep forgetting about that. The order in which you can do the late game bosses in ES Malus is pretty variable, and it's actually pretty cool because it's like very much personal preference. As I said before, I think it's slightly faster to do Fire Sage Elevator Clip before Ceaseless, but you know, I for one do it, and I know a lot of other runners do it because it makes the menuing. It gives you a lot of time to prepare to do the menuing for air rolls and catacombs, so you transition a lot smoothly there. And yeah, Hollow, 1 king with Dark Bead and either Soul Spear, or he's going to be doing the unequipped strats for the Dust Crown. We'll see.
And as you see, with Typo, he gets the elevator clip, which not only lets you skip a huge amount of the game, a huge part of the game, but also makes it so Fire Sage doesn't move. He just chills there while you kill him, and that's very comfortable because Fire Sage is actually a pretty annoying boss to go. If you've ever seen an all bosses, the remastered all bosses run, die to someone getting stuck on a branch, entering Fire Sage, and then getting an explosion or something like that, you know how annoying that boss can be when it moves. So
Well,
very
both
thankful.
Stray and Fire Sage have that in common
Mm.
with that AOE. We're gonna see a kind of no wrong warpy strat coming here from Newbie, or not Newbie, from Typo. Newbie's actually doing the RTSR setup for 4 kings now, and Typo's just walking on lava, but it's totally fine for him. Actually, he is gonna heal. This fight is probably really bad without RTSR. So it's interesting that he'd go for it like this, but I guess he doesn't have much of a choice.
I mean, yeah, it's worse without RTSR, but as we mentioned a couple of times already, he would have died with RTSR there. So
Yeah.
kind
So
of.
it's good to know your limits as a runner and not to be extremely risky when you know that you're just much better off not doing that. Which is
I
really
mean,
very
maybe he would have played it safer if he had RTSR. He wouldn't have attacked there going into the lava, but anyway, he still managed to save some time by not picking it up, so
Newbie also
it's
just
not.
did seal skip. If we mentioned before in Blighttown, falling down a slope in this game gives you delayed fall damage. So Newbie actually just quit out before that damage was dealt to him, so he was able to move to the bottom and survive the fall down that little crack there in New Londo. And he was able to basically go out of bounds with it, and now he's underwater technically, and he's going to drop down to 4 kings here, which makes the spawn point very consistent when you do seal skip for 4 kings. And now we'll hopefully see 1 king. Hopefully Newbie can pull it off, but if not, he still has a lot of damage, so 2 kings is fine. Ooh, that's an unfortunate spawn, but that's okay. This should actually give him some time.
And
See
he got the magic, which can be very bad or very good depending on if he gets
Yeah,
1
he
king.
should be able to dark time before he gets hit. I mean, even if
Yeah.
he dies, it would have been fine.
Yes.
And he got 1 king, and he didn't have to do it with Soul Spear, which is good. He hesitates there for a second. I'm not sure why. Oh, actually, Gwyn's next. So
Yes.
Newbie's at the home stretch, and hopefully he doesn't get trolled by the Black Knights.
Yeah, even if he does, he has some time to spare because Typo has still all the catacombs left. As I was saying earlier, they were at a point where they had very similar number of bosses left, but those bosses are a lot faster for newbie than they are, and easier than they are for Typo. So
Insane Newbie coming in chat and asking if he's missing any bosses, but I don't think we're allowed to tell him whether or not he is. So, insane trying to cheat. Feels
I
weird.
mean, they are allowed to listen to our commentary while they run, and if they were missing bosses, we would talk about it, so they would hear anyways,
That's
even
an
if they didn't
interesting
ask.
strat to use for baiting an attack like that from the Black Knight. Usually what you do is you run up to him and he gives you a running attack, which
Yeah.
puts you in RTSR range unless you take counter damage, but it worked for Newbie for the RTSR setup.
There's also an interesting way to avoid the Greatsword Black Knight.
Yeah, he locked on, which honestly, if it's safe for him, it's safe for him. Because
Yes.
I have died to that.
I think I'm gonna parry him for my next race instead of dying to him.
I don't know if
Like,
I'll parry him, but you can just peach him by going to the right more.
yeah.
I don't know. I died to him in my marathon run for NASA, and it was unfortunate, but it was funny. He almost fell off there.
Yeah, right side strats are a bit concerning.
Yep. But Newbie should be able to kill Gwyn just fine as long as he gets this 1 parry, and he should be finishing with, my guess is maybe somewhere around a 136.
Curious to see Newbie didn't sprint towards win. With, you wouldn't think that it makes anything like different, but it actually can make you more likely to miss the parry because you want to be as close as possible to win for the parry, because if you are like, if there's any distance between you and him when he does the attack, the parry window is quite smaller.
Yeah.
So you really want to sprint towards him to make sure you're really up against him when you have to parry, but it still worked for him. So GG Newbie.
Yeah, GG
Congrats on the
Newbie.
win.
And Typo's honestly not that much behind, just has a couple more late game bosses to get through. But really nice run so far by both of the runners. Really obviously put in a lot of work to preparing for this tournament, and I think it paid off as well. Hats off to both of them, really. And I'm super curious to see how Typo finishes this run, although I'm pretty sure of what he's doing in the route now. Hope you didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think
I don't
think
think
you
you
missed
did.
anything, Newbie. But I mean, I don't know. I guess someone would have to determine that. If someone probably would have noticed it in the chat though, and I can tell you right now that nobody said anything.
So can we get some smorks in chat for Typo
Morks.
for his morking with the great club?
I had to ask what I had to think about what that meant first. I had no idea what a smork was. Insane no Twitch knowledge. Also insane no air roll strats, but this is fine.
Yeah, it's fine as long as you get you don't get trolled by a skeleton jumping at you at the same time you start falling and get kicked off and dealt a lot of damage because you get counter damage, which is something that can happen when you do these drops if you're not careful.
You know, I haven't watched your commentary last run yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if you mentioned it in your commentary. Mind Goblin. You didn't? Oh, damn. Insane restraint.
Yeah, we get some smorking. Get some smorking going on Pinwheel. Get hecked.
Yep. This upcoming strat on Nito, where he's gonna equip all his stone armor, is something that we do in No Wrong Warp as well. Although it's you could actually set up. I guess you could set up our TSR here as well. Now that I think about it, but a well-known, extremely risky strat was
doubtful that will be
TSR. Yeah,
that will be something we will see.
Yeah, it might be an incentive in the upcoming SCM relay race, though. Wink, wink, because I may be one of the people running it. I'm not sure.
Insane self-promotion.
But SCM is going to be super cool, so check it out.
Yeah. And let's see if Typo doesn't miss the jump. Yeah, he did. He got a roll instead of a jump because he didn't let go of the block long enough, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky jump to make sometimes. You're supposed to kind of boost yourself up by jumping at the right time, but there's a backup if you fall down that ledge. You can easily just go a bit more to the right, make a circle, and fall down a hole. Try to get a hole in one.
No, Wolf, you're wrong. I didn't. Not only I didn't curse the runners, I blessed Typo with the blessing of the smork, and he's morking good. Now that I say that though,
we'll see.
Everything is gonna be fine.
I mean, I think Kata knew what Mind Goblin meant when you explained it, but I don't think anybody knew what you meant, including the people who found it hilarious in my stream.
Yeah, the only thing that comes to mind with like Mind Goblin is a very weird Magic the Gathering card. It's called Goblin Game, and it shouldn't exist because it's super weird, convoluted. Yeah, Regal knows it. It's a commander special.
It's a commander
card that doesn't make no. It's a commander card because people who play commander like to play with bad, weird, annoying cards like that.
I don't need to play commander. I am commander.
Yeah, I mean, you are less annoying than a game of commander though. Unfortunately.
I'm glad you think that. That's very nice of you. Because I think a lot of people in this chat find me annoying from this commentary.
I don't know. People are just messing with you.
Insane roasting on Magic Sif. Anyway, Typo, as we saw, he basically poised through every single thing in that fight and took down Nito pretty easily. It's a strat we use in No Wrong Warp as well, even if you're doing RTSR strats, because we don't have hidden body like Typo does, just like Typo doesn't. So we need to fend off the skeletons in a different way.
So also, yeah, I think it's only 4 kings and Gwen left for Typo. Let's see how he does. Hopefully no commentary occurs this time.
We see a couple of like rapid block movement there by Typo as well. So
Yeah,
you know,
that's
watching, he's
probably
trying to be
some
funny. Yeah,
RNG manipulation.
probably. This game also sucks, and here we are. Yep, we're all playing a game that we hate.
Yeah, this game is like the best thing in existence compared to Magic the Gathering, and that's
Play
saying
Yu,
a lot.
just play Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. That's all I say.
Don't do that either. Just just play Halo. Be happy.
Or we can keep topic on Dark Souls. That would be nice.
Yes.
I was gonna say, um, our main goal should be to not derail the conversation and talk about metal music, and now we're talking about Magic the Gathering instead, which is
Yeah,
perfect.
I wouldn't be able to stop if we went there. So
Yep. And yeah, so we'll be able to see another difference here. Typo is going to be doing obviously Great Club +6, 4 Kings, because that's what he's been doing for every single boss. It's going to take a bit longer than Darkbead 4 Kings, that's for sure. And did he just? Okay, I thought he died. That's not. There's something on my screen that looked like he got the death cam basically, and it was a piece of food. So never mind.
wait, what?
I don't know. He dropped something because he wants to see where the. I thought he died. I thought the thing on my screen was like the death cam and showing him dying because maybe he dropped down too early in the map, but it was a piece of food on my screen. So, and it looked
He
exactly like the top of the beef jerky hollow that this guy is. So I have no idea.
Oh my god! So you saw there Typo getting hit by Four King's amazing hitboxes. Like he was like 2 meters away from the sword, and he still got hit because this boss is amazing. It's actually a pretty good boss, but some hitboxes are way bigger than they should be.
What kind of food? I mean, what probably happened is I don't know. It's just like a crumb. It wasn't actually like I didn't like. It wasn't like there was a sandwich on my screen. Okay, it's just like a piece of. It may not even have been a crumb. I don't know. But yeah, as Ayame said, this is 4 Kings with melee. He's gonna have to take a little bit for each of these kings to spawn. He dropped the item there that you see as sort of a waypoint to see where the other kings would spawn. So I even do it when I'm doing 1 king just in case I miss it. It doesn't lose any time or anything like that, so it should be chill.
Yeah, me too. It does make it a little bit annoying that you get the prompt for the dark sign on no.
It loses time, Regal? What? What if you get to because oh shoot.
Yeah, but you can get that
Oh,
like
I didn't
super
think about
fast.
that. I didn't think about that.
You can switch from no to yes in like
Huge rip.
less than half
Yeah,
a
I
second.
guess.
But yeah, technically it does
Technically
lose
it's
time.
slower. Okay, I guess I won't drop anything then. It's not a huge deal. I just if I wouldn't wanna I mean it's fine, it's whatever. Yeah, insane great club bias from Duck. Has he? So this is interesting. I'm pretty sure he's stayed move swap for the entire, or at least for a very long time, which makes this route actually pretty comfy because you probably don't have to move swap as much as Newbie did. Um, Newbie closed his game. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
no
insane
IGT for
black
you,
screen.
Chad. No IGT for you. Oh, there he
Now he's
is.
trying to open it to redeem himself, but it's already too late. You've already made a mistake.
I should have uninstalled it.
But yeah, I am also curious to see what the IGT is. Newbie redemption arc. Well, I mean, he already won, so. Ooh, that was the. Oh, no, no, it wasn't. I thought that was the attack that could kill you. 130, 111. Nice job by Newbie. Hats off. Nice job for winning. He will be moving on and facing. I don't know who he's facing. Let me see. Newbie will
He
be
will be
facing
facing Alibaba.
Alibaba. Nice.
Yes.
So slowly but surely, we're seeing the second round define itself, and we'll be able to know what next week looks like.
Yes. In fact, this is the last race of the first round, we are done with first round, and we will be starting second round tomorrow, where we will have, if I'm not mistaken,
I think
we
we'll
will
have
have
Brood versus
Brood
Sizen. Yeah.
versus Yara, and that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be the first race of the second round, and we need a lot of a lot of races to schedule, but we will get that done. And between tomorrow and next weekend, and maybe the other weekend, we will probably get second round done. And that's it. That's win with move swap for Typo.
Actually, done very well considering
Yes,
Gwen move swap is actually harder than it looks. So nice job
yeah,
to
it's
type.
a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna bring them in for a bit of an interview or a bit of a chat afterwards. Is that gonna happen, Regal?
Yeah, that should.
Hopefully. Do we have to do it? Or well, actually, I have no access to doing that. So yeah.
Regal will do it for us. And there we have him.
You guys,
Hello, guys. Typo is muted and deafened.
he's AFK maybe.
Oh, maybe.
GG on your runs, guys.
Yes. GG newbie on the win, and whenever Typo on defense, we will talk to him. So, congrats, newbie. Things to point out from your run. Um, we were actually talking about how good your decision making on Duke's Archive split was, because we were first surprised that you decided to leave Duke's Archives and go for the DLC. But then when you went ahead and did it later, it actually makes sense because you were able to get the safety bonfire, and also as Ake mentioned, you were like you got out of the way, like you probably were getting frustrated, I guess, and I don't know. Can you explain us your reasoning there when you
Oh,
decided to make that switch?
I was just over. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, we're good.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just over over Duke's Archive. I was like, I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
And
Yeah.
then
And go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I thought about the bonfire too, and I was like, yeah, I guess I can get it just in case things go horribly wrong again.
Yeah, it's a good
And
strat. Yeah, to realize that you're stuck in a way, and maybe you won't be stuck in about 20 minutes from then and so you just switch around the route. That's calling an audible, which is really awesome. Shows you're
Yeah,
thinking on your feet.
yeah, and it was
Real?
probably the right decision, because maybe if you would have gone another time, if you would have given it another go, you with frustration and tunnel visioning, you maybe would have died again or something, and instead doing it this way, you got through it. So congrats on that.
Yeah.
And Typo, are you there?
I am here. What's up, guys?
Congrats to you too on finishing
Nice
the
run.
smartest run
Yeah,
I've
that was
ever
my
seen.
goal. Just to finish, and I'm
I
pretty
think you
glad I
did
was able
awesome,
to.
Typo. In all honesty, if you ran like a faster route, you definitely would have been the winner. I was all nerves the whole race.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't know a faster route. I need to
Yeah,
learn
Yeah,
one.
This is what you're doing. Great Club is awesome. I mean,
yep.
it's the first Great Club run we've seen yet, so it's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty much all I know. The only things I've ever done in all bosses are Great Club and the old Crapple Mage, like the old Crapple Mage.
Yeah, and who wants to do Crapple Mage in a tournament?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I just don't want that ONS fight.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
No, but as Regal was saying, it didn't have nearly as good of a late game as ES Malus, but I mean, you still held your own, and you finished with
yeah. No, you did
148, which
great.
is really nice. Yeah,
Yeah, I just made some there were areas that I was uncomfortable with just because I haven't done a route in so long, and I think you could have seen that. I kind of got lost twice, where I shouldn't have.
segment. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
you you got
and
lost there in the DLC. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, and then that death to the clams was really costly. That's like 6 or 7 minutes or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you died to the clams too.
Yes,
guys
we
Yeah.
both
Oh,
did.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At around the time you died to to Duke skip the first time, newbie, was when he
Ah.
died to clams, and then yeah, and then you died again, and then you decided to go to
Yeah.
Guardian, which made sense.
Oh, by the way, I think I did hear you because I was just trying to listen. I wasn't actually trying to watch the race, but I did so for Hidden Body. I forgot to
Oh,
cast Hidden
Yeah.
Body. I forgot to cast the second Hidden Body for Manus. So that was my bad. But for the catacombs, what I do is I run past the statues, cast Hidden Body, and then I grab the lever, and then I
oh,
just
you do
run it.
the RTA.
Yeah, the
You do the
RTA.
RTA style. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
honestly not a bad. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I wasn't trying to
Oh
necessarily
no
back
no
on
no!
Duke.
I
Just
don't.
like the super detailed oriented part of myself was getting so frustrated because like you just use it in body here. But now that you explain it, totally makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Uh,
makes sense. And it's fine. Like whatever. Like you do whatever you want. I mean, you can run the game with a great club because that's what you do, and it's fine.
yeah.
It was fun.
Just as long as we had fun, and I think I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys all had fun. Just don't do GLS. Feels weird.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
please.
Please don't do all bosses GLS. That is painful.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do for Alibaba.
Okay, all right
Hey,
then.
just run GLS against him. I mean, he's doing
So
DS2 now, so who knows? You might beat him.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I
Damn.
think he's prepping for the DS2 stuff, but I'm sure he's also prepping for this. He's putting in good work, I'm sure. But yeah, I think before we sign off, we can. I mean, we kind of already did while Typo was finishing up his run, but just to go over it again, this is the last run of Gravelord Sword QQ. This is the last run of round one, and so I believe all of the brackets for round two, which is the next week, are decided, I believe. Yeah, so we'll have Rigo versus Sass. We'll have Brood versus Sizen, which is tomorrow. I will be racing Red, as he won last run against Dark One. Nax HPL will be running against QQ, Mario, and Catalyst, which is going to be a really awesome run. Everyone tune in for that. Static 24 is going to be running against Sapioke. Alibaba will run against Newbie. And Duck is going to run against my co-commentator today.
yeah, that's gonna be. I feel kind of insulted that you mentioned that Mario's and Catalyst run is gonna be awesome and not mine and Doug, but
I mean,
whatever.
yeah, it's just you just deal with having the less awesome run. No, everyone's run's gonna be really cool. I was saying Mario and Kata because,
No, yeah,
frankly,
yeah.
because I think that's gonna be a pretty intense run.
Yes,
You know,
everyone knows
yeah, I like
those two
doing it.
are some of the best in the community,
So
and
is
it's
Regal
gonna
and
be
Sass, by the way. So is Regal and
yeah,
Sass.
Regal and Sass is gonna be
Yeah.
insane too.
Um, the other runs are going to be awesome too, though. So please don't skimp out on any of the runs if you will. And of course, the runners that lost this week have another chance in the losers bracket. I don't know. Actually, I guess I could read those out. Bolt is going to be running against New. No, against Typwo. Raiden is going to be running against. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Just look at the bracket yourself. I
And
don't know what
you're
I'm talking
making it
about.
up because
There are no pairings yet. Yeah, I don't know what I'm
yeah,
talking
Bolt is gonna be running against either Doug or me, whoever loses that,
about.
and then Raiden is gonna be running to Mario or Catalyst, whoever loses that. So
Yeah,
all the lower bracket matches are still to be decided
we decided. Yeah, so
regarding on what happens on second round. So we cannot know that.
yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. Feel free to tune in about 17 hours from now, I believe. For
Damn,
that's
same maths.
yeah, I think. Let me make sure I didn't get it wrong. Yeah, yeah,
You can
for the next
know
run
where
tomorrow.
if you want to know exactly the time where when the next races are. There's both a document, a drive document you can check, and also in the Discord server for Speed Souls, which you should join if you haven't. There's an announcement channel where there's timings for the next races, and those timings that you see on that channel are actually adapted to your time zone automatically. So the time that you see there is your time. You don't have to make any nonsense time zones calculations or anything.
Time zone calculation. It's pretty nonsense. And lastly, if you guys ever want to try out some of these runs, try them out for yourself, learn how to speedrun this game, check out that Discord as well, or go to the Speed Souls wiki, full of people in a tightly knit community who are willing to help each other, and it's a lot of fun. Speaking from experience, when I say that I learned from the best, I guess, in the community. So yeah, give it a shot. And thanks, guys, so much for watching.
Can I just say one more thing before we
Yeah.
go though?
Yeah.
For sure.
I just want to clarify that actually Magic Sif is the best Sif, so I don't know what Commander AK is talking about. So all right, thanks guys.
Yes, you're cool.
Okay, goodbye everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Yeah,
See
let's
you
leave it on
tomorrow.
that awful note. Yes. Yep.
Thanks,
See ya.
guys.
Oh, also we're gonna be raiding. We're gonna be raiding Nax. We forgot to say that. Nax
Just
is an awesome
practicing for
runner
the tournament.
from the community,
Yep.
and he's probably running all bosses. I'm not sure, but probably. So, see you all. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye guys.
Yeah.